Hello everybody. Today you're going to learn how to create your own custom module inside your SuiteCRM system. My name is Bastian Hammer, your go-to expert when it comes to all things CRM, e-commerce, marketing automation and sales integration. Okay, so let's go. So I assume that you've got your SuiteCRM system up and running. You have customized the modules and the fields in order to adjust it to your needs and requirements of your business processes. But now you've figured out that the data structure just doesn't match your imagination or the real world business cases that you've got. So in order to help you there, in SuiteCRM you can create a custom module. So let's first think about when you would do this. So looking back at my project before, there have been several occasions where a custom module has been very reasonable. For instance, if you're in the educational area industry, and then you've got, just like here, accounts, contacts, leads, but there's one thing in the middle which just is not reflected here inside the CRM system, which are courses or lessons. So for these projects, I usually build like lessons or courses as a specific module. And now you can connect one contact. This one contact has participated or taken like several courses and then graduated from those courses or something. Another idea would be you have something like you're working in the marketing or like online marketing industry. And then you want to have accounts and contacts just like here as well. Additionally, you want to have domains as a specific module because one domain or like one account could own several domains. On the other hand, there is specific detailed information that you want to store with every single domain. Then I had yet another project where we had expenses. So you've got invoices in your CRM system, but there are no expenses. So we've created a custom module just for the expenses and keeping track of the outgoing and incoming money. And then for reporting purposes, you can store a history of something, let's say the lead status. So every time the lead status is changing, you would create a new record in a lead history module. So it's like a historization of your data, and looking into that module, then you see exactly what took how long, which lead takes how long, and you can do this for leads, you can do this for opportunities. When doing it for opportunities and having data for a couple of months, you've got an excellent basis for sales forecasts, which are very precise. Okay, so these might be the different examples. Let's look into the admin area, how that would work, how we would build something like this. So I simply go to the admin area, and here inside the admin area, you can see the module builder. And I'll click on this one. So now there are different concepts hidden here. First, we have to create a new package. So what is a package? A package is something like a group of modules, but watch out, only use those packages if those modules really are tied together. So you can't imagine breaking them apart. Let's say, for instance, you've got one package with two modules inside. One module is a building and one module is a room or like a floor. And you can only use them together. If you would break them apart, it wouldn't make sense. Then we would create this new package. And for demo purposes, we would just call it demo package. Author, if you want to document this, you can add your name here, and then we have the key. So the key is like a abbreviation kind of thing. So here we've got demo. This fits here, but if I continue demonstration, see, so it's like 5 digits only. Description. So if you want to write down like what exactly does this package here contain, what is it good for? Then author is Bastian Hammer, and we fill this one in as well. This is a pure demo module package. So, and now I save this here, and As you can see, now we've got a couple of more options. You can still edit these details here, but now we've got something like here, save, duplicate, deploy, publish, export, delete. We'll get back to this later on. And we've got a new module. So this is basically what we want to do. Now we've created this package. And now inside the package, we want to create a new module. And we call the module just exactly the same, demo. And we call it as a label. So the label is the one that you see inside your CRM system. Demo module works either way. And then you've got a couple of options here that you can go through. Importing, whether you want to make your records importable. So maybe you don't need it always. I most likely have it switched on just in case you need it later on. This feature, you prepare some data inside your Excel file or whatever, and then you want to import it. So a navigation tab, this will simply provide navigational tab for this module. Now the interesting thing here is this one. You've got kind of pre-built templates. Let's quickly go through it. Basic is just you're generating a basic, very empty module with a system required fields. Company, do you want to use the company as a template? So it looks like as the structure, let's say for instance, you've got an address with a company, and then you would have those specific fields already pre-set up or pre-structured inside your module. And then you've got files, for instance. So if you want to upload files just like the document module, this would be one possibility. Issue. So this is one, is a little bit more if you're going to development or have some very technical business model, and then you might want to deal with those because here you've got like bugs and you've got versions of software in combination with issues and when they have been resolved. Probably very specific, and there is better software for this like GitHub or similar. So person, it's kind of interesting. So person, we've got contacts, leads, targets already, but it's still possible to add more, one more module and call it person. So here, be a bit careful on that because the structure from, let's say, a lead and a contact is very similar. If you want to create yet another module similar to the contacts, then you would build up the structure 2 times, but most likely you will be able to distinguish those different contacts with a drop-down field as well. So let's go back to companies to make a very simple example. You've got your companies as customers, you get companies as suppliers, and you've got companies as competitors. You want to have all 3 companies inside your CRM system because you've got processes around them. And now you could create 3 different modules for them. Or you can build all the data structure inside one module and then distinguish the 3 different types by a drop-down. And usually this is suggested. So try to not create like 2, 3, 4 different person or company or something modules unless you've got a very, very specific requirement for it. And the specific requirement could be, so you've got contacts, which will be your customers, and you will work with them with these processes, and those processes will work only for this module. But then you've got, let's say, for instance, PR contacts as well, which have very, very special, very dedicated processes. And then the structure is still the same. They both have names, they both have email addresses and phone numbers and stuff. But since you've got so different structures and structures in the sense of like maybe a couple of fields are different, but mostly processes, workflows in the background, then you would use 2 modules for doing those. So and then you've got another sale template with like opportunity specific. You can see it here on the right side in the help as well. So you've got like the stores and stages and amount. So stuff like this makes sense again if you have opportunities, but for very, very specific or different product groups with completely different workflows in the background. Unless You've got very good reasons to do those here. I would just go with the basic module and build it up from there. So, and then I click on save. And now what you will see is inside my packages here, it's a very similar structure like in the studio before as well. If you haven't checked this one out, watch my video on the SuiteCRM and how to configure and adjust the fields inside your modules, because there we go into the studios and look into the details. So here you can configure details inside your module, just like in the studio as well, but there are some extra or like some specific details here. So let's first go through it. We have picked the basic module template, and as you can see, these are kind of the required fields, the system field. So we've got a name field. You can rename the label if it doesn't make sense to call it name. You can even create workflows with the calculated fields. Check out this video as well. In case you don't want to re-enter something in the name, it doesn't make sense for you, but you want to have like a unique naming and like a that all the names look the same, appear the same. Then you've got date created, date modified, sure. Then you've got description and deleted. So description is the text area and deleted is a soft deleted field. That means you don't really see this in the CRM system itself, but if you delete a record, usually it's not deleted from the database. It's just soft deleted, means it switches the value of deleted to 1. And then it won't be displayed in SuiteCRM system. And then there are some prune jobs where the database will be cleaned once a month, for instance. And you can activate or deactivate it. But usually if you delete it, it has like some reason why you deleted it. So you can just get rid of it. And now, just like with the studio as well, we can add a field. And we simply add one demo field, which is a text field. Demo field. And yeah, you can configure it just the same like the studio as well. Check out my video on the field details and the field types as well. Then we go into the details in the depth about what fields to use when. So then I save this field here. And now what do I do with the field? I put it into my views. So I want to have, beside the description, for instance, I want to have the demo field. It won't look nice, but it will show the purpose here. I sync it to the detail view. I save this. And what else can I do? I can configure the labels here. I can configure them already for both or more than one language, all the languages that I've got installed. Check out my video on how to do the translation on field labels and the list values. And now there's one very specific thing that you can configure here, which is interesting, which you can't find in the standard studio. So you can add relationships. That means like you know the relationships already from account and contacts. So there's a company, and inside this company there are like several people working there. So we've got a one-to-one relation, or like a one-to-many relationship from one company, many employees. And then there is many-to-many as well, which is adding like an N-to-M relationship. And now we've got a very specific one here inside the studio, which is a many-to-one. And we've got this because it could be that the one is already existing now. So we're building our many module here, and the one probably exists already. So let's say one lead. Where are the leads? Here. So one lead has many demo records. Just in this example. So, and then I would build it up like this, and I would save this relationship here. So later on, I can, if I create a new demo record, I can pick a lead, and the other way around as well. They are connected. So inside the leads, I've got a subpanel, and in the subpanel, I can add more and more demo records. So this is special about the module builder here. The rest is fairly similar. So you've got the list view where you can just drag and drop your fields that you want to show. You've got a detail view, which usually is being synchronized from the edit view. Then you've got dashlets, the pop-up view, the filters, and so on. So check out my video on the studio views. We go into all details here, and yeah, it's fairly similar. I wanted to show you something else. So if I close this one and I go back to my demo and go back to the package itself now. So as you can see, demo, we created this module. If you really have another module which fits exactly together with a demo and with nothing else, then you can add two, usually in order to keep it very modular. And if you need to prepare a couple of those modules, then you would usually do like one module is one package, or inside one package you only put one module. So now you can do a couple of interesting things here. So the deployment is basically, you click on the deploy, and it's very similar to the save function that you know from the studio. So it will save our details, our changes here, and it will install it in the background inside your CRM system, and you are ready to use it. And you would usually do this if you have got your SuiteCRM system and you only have a live environment. You don't have like a dev environment and a staging environment where you do testing and then deploy it to the live environment. You usually work with your live environment. Usually for smaller companies, for smaller clients, they would use this one here because it's quick and dirty, quick and easy. So you can just build whatever you have in mind, deploy, and you're ready to use it. If you need to make some changes, you can either work changes inside your studio later on when you've got it deployed, or you come back to this module here and redeploy it, but then the changes of the studio will be lost. So you need to be a bit careful here. Then you've got publish, and you can already see it here on the right hand side. So if you click publish, it basically saves everything that you've done here as well, and it creates a zip file, and this zip file is an installable package. So and this is what you would do if you have like a bigger company, you have a development environment, then you would build a package or several packages here. You would create a zip file, you would publish it, create a zip file from it, and then you can install the zip file on the staging environment. Inside the staging environment, you would then go ahead and do your testing. Does everything work as it's supposed to work? Usually you would hand over the process from the developer to the product owner there, for instance, as well, because the product owner can do the business side of things, testing, and the developer just the integration tests or the technical tests. And then if the tests were all successful, you can use the same zip file and load it inside your live environment. So that just helps in order to have a very structured development process, testing process, and you're not easily breaking something. If you're doing this one here, you simply deploy. You can still take a backup before you deploy. Then you would test around and see whether everything is fine. If it is not fine, then you would restore the backup. You would change your package, you would change your module inside the package here, and then deploy it once more after taking another backup. An export is something like you just want to put this, you would just want to put the code into a current version system or like a versioning tracking system in order to see, okay, these have been the changes and we only want to document the changes. Usually I would either use publish or deploy. Delete will delete the package, and duplicate will duplicate the whole package, including all the contents, which I use seldom as well. So usually it's save, deploy, or publish, which are the most interesting things here. Let's give the deployment a chance here. So I click on deployment. It's very fast. So it's deploying my package demo into my SuiteCRM system. And now you can see these are the two options that I've got. Either I can edit this one here, or I can create yet another package. So far so good. Now I get back to the overview, the dashboard, and then I hope to see a demo module inside the more lists. As you can see, it's right here. Now I can create demo record. Description is text, and demo is, for instance, 1. Now you can see that's my related field, leads. So now I can relate this to any lead, for instance, whichever, and I'll save this one. I've got an overview of my list view, just as normal, demo record. So, but now we forgot one thing, for instance, we want to change or want to update something. 2 options, you either go to your studio, you will continue working on your deployed module, or you go back into the builder here. So this is the module builder. Therefore, I've got my demo module. I can click on the demo module. I can basically go back here into the tree view as well. And I create yet another field. And I want to add a float number. And then I want to call this float as well. I save this. Oh, reserved keyword, float number. So, and I simply save this and I drag it into my layout here as well, into the view. I save this one here. So far we haven't deployed it, we have only saved it. If we want to deploy it, we need to head over to the package again and redeploy it. And then you can see it here as well. So everything that you've done in the studio will be overridden. So it's very hard to say when you should do what. So this is a bit more inconvenient because you need to deploy it. On the other hand, after you've deployed it, you can still access your records. So now I've got this record here. I reload it just to make sure that it has not been deleted at all. And as you can see, additionally, we've got this one more field here. And now I can add a float number, which is 2.2, 2.2. So I'll have to investigate this one, why it doesn't work. I'll do this in the video for the field values. But as you can see, this works. So we can redeploy something even though we changed something. It will be different if you'd use the studio only. So therefore, if you're working on building new modules, you have to commit to, okay, this is the finished version. I only want to take it that far. And if there will be changes, maybe 3 months down the road, and then I would go ahead and change something in the studio and forget about the module builder. Alternatively, you keep the module builder always up to date, because that has a big advantage. If you keep it up to date, if you do the changes there, redeploy everything, and then later on, should you start working on a development and staging environment, you can still deploy the package from here. You can publish the package so that it will be generating a zip file, and you can simply deploy it on your different environments, which makes it a bit easier to work with everything, which makes it easier to test, to keep your productive system like intact, even though you maybe have like a problem or made a mistake on your development or staging problem. So therefore, I would suggest stay in the module builder once you have created modules, and don't override changes. Don't continue working on changes inside the studio, even though it might be a bit easier. Unless you're saying, I'd never want to go into like a development staging environment, and therefore, sure, go ahead. The studio will be totally fine and will accomplish your customizations as well. And one more word of advice. So you're building out your new modules now, and they need to fit in your data architecture and your processes. If you're uncertain of what should be a module, usually it will be like real life objects or real life concepts, or additionally something where you need to do tracking like data warehousing, BI or forecasting on it. So these are all potential candidates for specific or custom modules. If you want to learn more about this, check out my course on SuiteCRM and data architecture. I'm going very deep into the like when to build modules, which kind of fields to use, how to relate them, and so on. Okay, let's quickly recap. So you've learned when to create new modules and how to do that. We've gone through the different options that you have. They look very familiar to the studio already. And what you do with the packages after you've created your module inside a package, when to deploy, when to publish, and how to use it in different environments. Thank you very much for watching. That's all for now. See you next time. Bye.